Cool. All right. I'm live. I want to talk about Alex Jones being removed from YouTube. This is kind of an outrageous, well, it's not kind of, this is an outrageous censorship case. I hope they have a landmark court case on this. I hope they set a precedent with an Internet Bill of Rights or whatever ends up being necessary. Maybe even a precedent would do. Maybe we don't even need an Internet Bill of Rights. But Alex Jones is definitely at the head of this, and he's going to have to fight the court case for whatever it may be. Just noticing here, when we go to YouTube, they've banned the Alex Jones channel, but they still have videos, Alex Jones videos. Take a look at some of these thumbnails, though. This one he's kind of scratching his head. This one he's like, ugh. Like they took like the worst clips they could find of Alex Jones. Like with his shirt off and making some crazy face. I haven't listened to the Joe Rogan thing. I'm sure Joe Rogan's secretly happy that he got taken off. They were kind of fighting. I saw this morning, that this H3 podcast, they were trying to talk crap about Alex Jones and say that they liked that YouTube banned him. And they showed a clip of him, and their stream got cut off. So I don't know how I'm going to do with showing these thumbnails here. I don't know if I dare click on one of these videos. But yeah, Alex Jones banned here. It looks like somebody uploaded a whole episode right here. I wonder what happens if we click on that. It'll take my live stream down. But it's a sad deal. If you go through all of Alex Jones's different, throughout the years, he might be stuck on, one issue for 6 months, 3 months at a time. So he'll do a few major issues a year. And it seems like after 9/11, up until about 2008, he was covering real major stories, GMOs. He was covering Agenda 21. They were reading leaked Army documents, executive orders, Rex 84. I mean, this was on a major roll, the stuff that was coming out. If he would have stayed on that path of reading all that stuff and continuing to expose the whole plan with actual paperwork, we'd be probably further along. But I think in 2008, it seems like to me anyway, just being a viewer, that the Alex Jones show changed around 2008, 2009. Then it became more, to my view, it looks more like they're going after Fox's viewers. They look at who Fox's demographics are, and they're more trying to cater the Alex Jones show to that viewer base, because they figured they were already there, they're already watching Fox, and let's try to take them in. I don't know if that's the case or not, but either way, or it might have been the departure of different producers and people and writers that were at INFOWARS that left. I notice every time they get new batch of employees there and an old batch leaves, that the show seems to take a turn, politically or whatever the topics are, completely changes. And then the Alex Jones show was kind of anti-establishment, because we had Obama for 8 years, so we had this big long stint of the Alex Jones show being anti-establishment. And now that they're for Trump, which is a good thing, it's just a different type of show when the show is being pro-establishment versus anti-establishment. I don't think they found their legs under this new format of trying to be pro-establishment. Also, I don't think they could continue the onslaught of the paperwork coming out from Army documents and UN. They could have continued that onslaught and just continued to say it's the deep state or whatever you want to call it, the FBI or the CIA, the NSA. But it became more of just similar to Fox, where it's just going to be sort of pro-Trump for the sake of being pro-Trump, which I get that. I'm pro-Trump too, but maybe more about the deep state and the documents. Let's rehash out Rex 84 and how they're planning on the Democrats when they get back in. This isn't going to be the deep state anymore. This is going to be the state as soon as the Democrats are back in. and we're going to have to worry about Rex 84. We're going to have to worry about internment. We're going to have to worry about civilian labor brigades, slave labor of civilians. And who the first persons they're going to put in. They're going to put conservatives in there, Tea Partiers, anyone who's registered Republican. It'll be similar to a Lenin purge, where you kill the other political party. But they'll find, just like Obama attempted with the attack with the IRS on the Tea Party and 501c3 churches, we're going to see it. This was just a taste. Now that we've seen them unleash their minions with Antifa and the whole media coming out against Trump and coming out against the country, just wait until they get back in. You think the global warming fraud was bad now and the propaganda was bad now, just wait till Hillary Clinton or one of these goons gets back in. It's going to be Agenda 21 on steroids. You think the Bureau of Land Management is closing off the public land now? It's going to get bigger when the Democrats get back in. You think they've violated gun rights and magazines and ammo and all this stuff? You haven't seen nothing yet. Just wait till they get back in. We see them foaming at the mouth. I live here in Portland, and we're seeing public support here for Agenda 21 and the Democrat communist state. And Alex Jones, I would have to give him total credit. He is the #1 personality with any sort of reach that's called out the UN. Just about every day he calls out the UN. The UN, in my opinion, if you take into account, if you read the entire Agenda 21, with their plan to abolish civilian ownership of firearms, the war on drugs that they gave us, the carbon credit scams, it just goes down the list. Every bit of damage, the major modern day damage that you can see that's been exacted to the United States has been done through the United Nations. Now, let's move on here and see. I think I might try to play a clip here and see how that goes. Let's see what we got here. I want to play this epic rant. I haven't seen it yet. Let's give it a watch here and see what happens.
When I sit there and I watch Ryan Stelter and all the usual suspects and clips online, people only watch it to ridicule it. When I actually watch the main program, usually, they're like, Donald Trump wants to shut down. Donald Trump wants to shut down the internet and free press. He's dangerous. He wants blood everywhere. He wants us killed because he criticizes us. It's horrible. He wants to shut down media and says he doesn't like the First Amendment. Donald Trump said none of that. He counterpunches to you liars. And then you'll have the same program, the same hour. Whether like Twitter needs to ban Alex Jones right now. Why is he still on? He should be banned from everywhere. He's clearly a very dangerous person. We can't allow evil, racist, horrible, Nazi ideas like this to continue. It's too dangerous. If you understand psychological warfare and have studied it like I've done as a layperson, and you see how they're trying to lull you into NPR sleep and how they have all these voices and all this chatter where people don't take anything serious anymore. They're putting you into a kind of stasis. That's why occasionally it's important for me to do something like this. This is an emergency transmission from deep in the heart of Texas, U.S. resistance against a global corporate combine, empowered and funded by Communist China, allied with the big mega banks that set up Communist China in 1949. It is a panopticonic, total Internet of Things, integration, global social score, complete command and control system. It is the...
I'm going to pause it real quick right there. Could you imagine if Alex Jones hadn't spent all the time and Ron Paul warning us about the Federal Reserve and educating the public that it was private? This is one thing that Alex Jones did that he doesn't get enough credit for. He pushed it out there that the Federal Reserve was a private entity, and it was almost out of the public knowledge until he put it back in there. Let's go back.
Virtual reality AI weapon system now attacking the United States with traitors inside the major security agencies, blocking Trump's resistance of the program and attempting to stop us from removing the tentacles of the Chi-Com/Big Tech begging combine emergency situation. I have been chosen for destruction because I brought you this information and have been battering, ramming it out as much as I can. They want to system of mathematical deception where every angle of my good is turned against us. So they take what I've said, being sincere, build me into an insincere person in the straw man. I'm a person that cares about life and children and is against these wars. And so they make me a herder of children. And then they build me into this lie to then set the distraction while they're actually censoring all of you to make a debate about Alex Jones. So even if I didn't sell out to them, they now use me as an archetype to serve them by being the main distraction. I have now been captured by the enemy in the information warfare fulcrum and is being used against you. Only your full understanding of this key will break you free from this paradigm. I have given you the transmission. Now break free. Then I respect.
Yeah, if we don't save INFOWARS, it will be, just imagine who they're coming after next. I know that's almost becoming cliche after what we've heard from all the pundits this week that are pro INFOWARS staying on the air. But it's much worse than I think it's being let out. I mean, I heard Tucker Carlson sort of, they're dancing around the issue. It's not a dance around issue. As soon as they ban Alex Jones outright, they're going to ban, you're going to go down the line. I know my small channel will be banned. I imagine they're not even going to let small channels operate anything like INFOWARS. Let's go see what else is going on out here on the search bar. One thing also about Alex is Sandy Hook. That thing, it's still, when you look at all of Sandy Hook, it's not, there's no way it's exactly like they claim it was. There's too many indiscrepancies with the school being bulldozed, and no objective person could say, even if you had lost a kid, or what it was, that the actions of that father who was laughing, I mean, that was, and then went into the crying mode as an act on stage in front of people. Maybe all that's real and everything, but it's just the optics of how it looks when you look at the news story. It looks made up and looks fraudulent. So we should question events like Sandy Hook still. They're trying to get us to never question events like Sandy Hook. So the next one happens, they say, "Oh, look, are you like one of those Sandy Hook deniers?" And that's how they're going to implement the propaganda that they want to push about whatever the next tragedy, so-called tragedy, is. But Sandy Hook, you have the guy Wolfgang Halbig that had a business, and at a expert level, the government, I forget which agency it was, had considered him on the cutting edge of these school shootings and how to map them out and make sure that they didn't happen again. Well, Wolfgang Halbig was essentially lost his whole career, lost his business, his wife left him, all over this Sandy Hook thing because he wouldn't let it go. He stayed on the press. He went to all the city council meetings. There's videos of him at all of them asking why weren't the helicopters there, why the video from the news doesn't match what the report was, why the school was bulldozed right afterwards. It just goes, you could look it up. There's many more questions that arise than just all that stuff. And why it was catered beforehand. It just goes on and on. They should have at least answered to this guy. He was involved in Columbine. He was involved in I think the Thurston shooting, the one in Springfield, Oregon. So he's been there to document all of these, but Sandy Hook was different. He wasn't allowed in. Everything about Sandy Hook was different. They said it's the first time, it's like the magic bullet with John F. Kennedy. Or like the Las Vegas shooting. It's the official narrative, and they're fighting so hard for the official narrative. So Alex Jones has gone to not give his perspective, his educated perspective, on what may or may not be a false flag, which is great for the public to know or not. Now they want to control. CBS wants to tell you what the official narrative is, and it will always sound the same. All the official narratives sound the same. Now, moving on to 9/11. 9/11 is a sort of a masterwork of Alex Jones if you take on that first year that he said it was an inside job. he lost a bunch of radio stations, lost a bunch of sponsors, but kept on the 9/11 was an inside job, even though it totally was hurting him. He was ridiculed pretty much in all the media, and ridiculed for like 5-7 years until people had desensitized enough to the shock factor had wore off, and they could objectively look at 9/11, and half these things that Alex Jones had put out are now the common question. Well, was it an inside job? Was it jihadis? Was it a remote-controlled plane? And then it balled into Larry Silverstein and the World Trade Centers and thermite and it just went on and on and on. But the reason why that Pandora's box got opened, where we could finally figure out that there was definitely something fishy here, and Building 7 falling down, molten metal, all this stuff proves that there's something fishy going there. But would everybody have asked the question if it wasn't for Alex Jones? And that's where I want to come in and basically just thank Alex Jones for everything that he did and taught the people about his knowledge of history and his knowledge of the record of false flags, and bring him out to the forefront, because that is knowledge that's very important to know about the capabilities of government. Same with the democide numbers. You could make a list of, like they made a list of Trump's accomplishments, you could make a list of Alex Jones's accomplishments, and it would rival, anyone who's won any of those trash Pulitzer Prizes. And we're going to click on this one here and see Alex Jones breaks his silence. Let's take a peek at that. All right, let's take a check at this thing here.
This is my message to Jack Dorsey, and it's also my message to all the people that are attacking him right now. First off, I saw a Huffington Post article this morning saying, Jack, don't die on this hill. And then I read the tweets where, Jack, you're responsible for Alex Jones doxing Sandy Hook families. I never doxed Sandy Hook families. I've been apologizing for years for how things were taken out of context. And it was my apologies and everything that got the media in this whole attack mode to then sit there and poke the families until they sued me. And no mainstream media will ever publish all of my apologies or any of it. It is just wild. And then when Megyn Kelly came to town a year and a half ago, she edited everything I said when I apologized to everybody, and then edited it to where I was attacking people. And that's all going to come out. So first off, they're trying to deplatform me everywhere. And a huge concerted, admitted purge, like something out of communist China, publicly lying about what I've said and I've done. And now they're doing it to you. If you go read that Huffington Post article with the tweets in it, they're going, listen here, Dorsey, it's your fault now. You're hurting the families. There's no end to this purge, and I think you understand that. Look, I know I've been shadow banned. I know your moderators have dialed me back. Whatever. What's happening, though, is they've now taken our platform away, Discus, we've had for 5-6 years for comments. They've taken MailChimp away from me. They've taken my name off LinkedIn. I am being unpersoned, like out of 1984. I am literally being disappeared. And look, I've got a big enough listenership and following where it's going to hurt me, but it's going to hurt little people really freaking bad. And you've got Google, who is the big problem in my view, openly working with China for a censorship search engine. It came out in The Intercept last week, and for censorship here. It's already happening. Since the campaign, it's 100 times worse, as you know. And so when all of these big tech companies decided to do this, first giving me strikes for things I didn't say and didn't do, leaving it all nebulous, that I bullied trans people and bullied a kid, none of it was true, and I was Islamophobic, none of that was true. They didn't show anywhere in the news what I said and what I did. I don't know if you're sincere in defending free speech now. All I know is the mere fact that you're saying that you're standing up for it is a good thing, and you're being attacked, so I'm glad that you've doubled down, at least for now. But here's what we have. We have a high-tech lynch mob involved in really cyber warfare and stalking warfare, trying to have them removed off the web. Right now, they're going to all our server companies and filing fake reports that we're putting out child porn and that we are putting out gambling and dark web crap. There's zero of that. So, congratulations, folks. You've crippled InfoWars. You've crippled News Wars. And you're doing all of this, but it's all going to...
Which some have embraced to argue falsely that was immigration enforcement.
Damn commercials.
All going to bite you guys in the butt that are doing this. I mean, this is crazy. Congress is paying attention and waking up to all the censorship. You guys have really pushed too far. You're trying to influence the election. You're giving donations in kind to the Democrats by blocking people like myself and others. The Democrats are now calling for Breitbart to be delisted and deplatformed, and for Fox News. You've got the Democrat senator coming out and saying InfoWars is the rotting tip of the iceberg and get rid of all the conservative media. I'm a libertarian. I got arrested twice by George W. Bush protesting it. None of that's true. I'm a libertarian. I'm an anti-war guy. That's why I like Trump. But regardless, the economy's coming back. The country's coming back. A lot of really, really exciting things are happening. And I am just very, 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 very honored to be in a country where we still have some basic freedoms, but we're losing them. They also misrepresent on Colbert last night and everywhere else. They go, oh, well, it's comedy. No, they pose as news that I threatened Mueller literally. No, I said figuratively, politically, high noon with spaghetti western music on, that he's going to have a political downfall. And like a little kid went, psh, psh. They know that. So they just put out these edited quotes saying that I threatened him, when the last thing I want is physical harm offensively. Everybody knows that. We had thousands of patriots come out in Portland this Saturday and Sunday in Berkeley, and none of them got arrested, and 20 plus Antifa did, and the police are finally done with them because they've been doxing the police. You guys, the liberals, have become the bullies, have become the crazed maniacs who want total political control. And the fact that you're now like a bunch of crazed villagers with torches trying to, not just get Frankenstein, Alex Jones, killed, but now you're trying to get Dr. Frankenstein. I guess now Jack Dorsey is my Frankenstein. It's not true. The truth is the left already has dialed back conservatives in major studies 93%. There are computer programs, and there are computer scientists, and there are computer sites that we've written about at InfoWars.com today that detail all this, where they can track how conservatives have been dialed back 50% during the 2016 campaign, and then since then 93%. Paul Watson has been dialed back on YouTube 97% monetarily and over 80% who he can reach. We all know this. We've got the analytics. We can see when they keep, well, this didn't work. This didn't work. People are still popular. This didn't work. This didn't work. And so now all free speech must be gotten rid of so that the, quote, left can control things. This is going to blow up in your face. This has failed. Jack Dorsey knows that. Okay? Now, there's another idea I've got here. I'm not saying this is what Jack's done, Jack. Jack. Is that I've watched how CNN and pushed for me to not be able to publish a book and celebrated it, and then pushed for me to be taken off YouTube and lied about what I said at Parkland and all this other stuff. Then those strikes were taken down a few months ago because they were fraudulent. There was a Bloomberg article. They weren't real. Bloomberg's...
Damn, commercials. This dude has a lot of commercials in his thing. We're going to make it through it, though.
Bloomberg said that someone inside YouTube took my stuff down and shouldn't have. But then the Democrats in Congress a few weeks ago called for me to be censored, and so they started responding. They did some fake strikes for things I didn't do. Then CNN pushed it, MSNBC pushed it, the New York Times pushed it, got everybody in this big witch hunt, this electronic witch hunt, and then they began to see more and more things go down, for everything from Pinterest to Facebook, you name it, for total deplatforming. And now they're even after my website, trying to shut it down. So is Dorsey just training everybody to basically rampage, where he says, no, I won't take Alex off, and then dangles me above the wolves like a piñata, so that they get all frothing into a frenzy, and then finally I'm dropped in to the nest, and then that teaches everybody, hey, if you continue to rampage around the internet and file false reports and engage in all this stuff, you will be rewarded with more people brought down, because that could be the Machiavellian dark corridor that Dorsey's going down. And I don't think that's what he's doing. He's a smart guy. And if you continue down the censorship route, it's going to end up in antitrust. It's going to end up in major investigations. It's going to build the entire industry of monitoring online discrimination against people that you don't respect. And remember, understand this. This is all about economics. Once they're done censoring me, the guy they chose to demonize, to build a straw man, to set the precedent for this purge, once they've been able to shut me down, once they've been able to carry this out, they admit I am the first domino, and it's everybody. And that is a scary country to live in. Quite frankly, I work all the time. I never get to, like a ship or something in war, go into dock and get fixed. I'm exhausted. I wouldn't work this hard and fight this hard if I wasn't always being suppressed, always being harassed, always being lied about for 24 years. I would have actually quit doing this probably 10 years ago, but you guys messed with me so bad, I expanded everything. And now I'm going to expand even more. I'm going
to pause it right there. I don't know if you guys saw the other day that Millie Weaver was on, and she was claiming that she had spoke to somebody. I don't know if it was an insider or FBI or who it was, but they were claiming I think she was ambiguous about who it was, but she was claiming anyhow that the shutdown of INFOWARS off of all these platforms was a concerted. They were all done in concert to take them off at the same time because of a supposed false flag that they're about to pull. Some sort of who knows what it'll be. It might be they bombed CNN or something. Who knows what it is. They're going to do that and then blame it on this Trump patriot uprising to try to demonize us before the November elections. So we see Alex Jones taken off, deplatformed in August. That means we have September and October. So imagine this. Somewhere in the next 2 months, keep your eyes peeled for something exploding. Everybody needs to be vigilant on the street. Imagine they'll have one of their little Antifa goons, a useful idiot, carry it out or whatnot, but we need to keep an eye out for false flags in the next 2 months heading towards the November election. Let's go back to Alex here.
I'll launch a whole bunch of new stuff, and everybody's going to see. So I'm not going to be suppressed. And INFOWARS reaches more people than ever, and we're going to go through some hard times. The site may go down today. It's just like they did to the Nazis, They may take their domains away, kick them off, all that. That's happened to us right now. And, I saw, I don't like the Nazis. I can't stand them, but they're always hating on me, but they have a right to free speech as long as they're not calling for violence. I saw Howard Dean saying Alex Jones promotes Nazism, and he needs to be taken off the air. And all these former Obama administration officials telling Jack Dorsey what to do. And then they don't put a link to me supporting Nazism, which I don't. They called for Amazon to take my film Endgame off. It's been on there for years. All over the news saying it promotes Nazism. The damn movie is against Nazis. It's about eugenics and the McCormick-Dickstein committee hearings and how Roosevelt had some issues, but at least they stopped the Nazi takeover in the U.S. There were frickin' hearings after World War II about it, man. The movie's against Nazis.
Top of this damn commercial.
The left has become a bunch of authoritarian crazies. You see Candace Owens, who's black and a beautiful, great little lady, being shouted at in a restaurant, a bunch of white people screaming at her, Nazi scum, Nazi scum. That's just crazy. She was a classical liberal setting up a site for feminists, and the feminists wanted to take control of it, so they acted like white supremacists harassing her, and then they came as allies, white allies, to take her over. It's just you guys are using race as a control arm, and it's sick and it's evil, and you're in a mob mentality, and you're on the wrong side of history. Whatever happens to Alex Jones at the end of the day, to me, this is just a big challenge, and I've made mistakes, and I'm not perfect, and I've had things taken out of context, and I'm more careful now, and I apologize to anybody I've hurt over the years, and I want to do better. But I don't get to go to Congress when they've had 3 hearings on me the last few months and lie about me. I'm never called. I don't get to know who's anonymously reporting us and saying we're serving out child porn. I don't get to find out who's calling me a Nazi. I don't get to know who's doing all this. I just know the newspapers show up 3 times in 3 different court cases, and in the media try to have my kids taken from me, including last Friday. Okay? My children taken away. Using headlines saying I abuse children, and YouTube kicked me off for child endangerment and then never showing the clip. And the judge was like, what the hell are you talking about? No. But I'm just saying, man, next level, folks. Next level. And going back to 3 years ago, when I really researched Sandy Hook more, I realized that the anomalies all could be described, and I think the mass shooting really happened. I was sick of them hurting the families, bringing my name up, and then saying I'd said things I hadn't said ever to hurt the families. And then all of you left is keep redoing it, using the children, using the blood, using all of that to blame me and the First Amendment now, not just the Second Amendment, and it's just wild. It's wild that I told Megyn Kelly everything I just said here and more, and she didn't put a damn piece of it in that show. I mean, what the hell, man? That's next level discipline. I've had the New York Times and the Washington Post in Austin come up and try to interview me, and a bunch of other papers, and I tell them all that. In the last couple months, none of it hits the paper. I waive, something my lawyers have never seen in Connecticut and in Texas, waive attorney's fees. Even though they're suing me, I waive that under law, if they lose, they pay my fees. I waive it. All over the news. I'm suing them, the opposite of the truth. When they sue you, it kicks in. It's like in England, where you sue somebody for libel, you lose, you pay. I waived that, which actually incentivized me being sued. And I just I took the total high road as an olive branch, and it meant nothing. The left went, oh, crap. He waived it. In his filing in Connecticut and under Texas law, they want you to hearing. Just say he sued him. Wow. You guys are going to lose.
Meet the Landers, the revolutionary new standing desk from iMover. Featuring...
You're authoritarians, and I think Jack Dorsey understands that and is trying to be on the right side of history. Maybe. I'm trying to be positive here.
Get a sandwich.
I've already been dialed back on Twitter to nothing, so being taken off of it doesn't do that much to me. But the dominoes that are going to fall for you being bullied into submission on other things, I think you know are unending. And I think it's wrong that Milo got taken off. But, you know, the issue with Milo is he's been taken out of context as well, but he's got his website, he's got his stuff, he's got his speaking tour. They are literally trying to shut everything down with me right now. So that, here's my final point, I can't speak for myself while they create the straw man. This Alex Jones that they say says nobody died at Parkland. I never even said anything like that. Or that says they were all crisis actors. Or the whole other stuff. They want to be able to lie about me and lie about what I've said and done in a vacuum where I can't even respond. So it is good to not just have INFOWARS.com and NewsWars.com I'm trying to shut down right now, so that I can go somewhere out in the world and actually say, hey, I didn't say that. Here's what I really said. 35,000 videos we put up over 12 years on INFOWARS.com from YouTube, all blown away. All my statements about Sandy Hook, what I really said, my grandmother that's dead now, my French bulldog that's gone, my little kids, shots of my kids walking around their little kids, that's all gone, all blown away, because the thought police secretly reported me, all these SJWs that went and got their worthless college degrees, and now are all pissed and have been told by the system, you know, take over America and you'll have a position. And now they're just this crazed Maoist brigade. That's their ideology. And they just anonymously report me. I can't face my accusers, and then all my stuff gets destroyed. That's going to make people not put things on the platforms like Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube. Everybody's already leaving it in mass. And this whole attempt to win the midterms and purge things is what's driving down all the stock. And I think you know that. INFOWARS.com, NewsWars.com. This is what I really had to say. This is what I really stand for. And this is the First Amendment, my right to respond.
Cool. I wanted to just do a little live stream just to thank Alex Jones and thank INFOWARS for all the work that they've done, exposing the corruption in the government, reminding us of how the Bill of Rights and the Constitution and the Declaration of Independence works, because we need a little refresher course and we need to be woken up. And I thank everybody for watching my short little live stream here. Subscribe to my channel if you want to check it out. I got some funny videos on there. I go downtown Portland and mess with Antifa and all that. So thank you guys for watching. Have a good day.